Hey, Vinyl Community, Marker again from Sound Matters, talking all things vinyl as always. Today I just want to revisit one of my pet peeves when it comes to buying new vinyl records, and that is those little tiny bubbles or dimples on the record surface that are audible, unfortunately, as pops and ticks. It's an infuriating issue. It's obviously a pressing plant issue. It's a pressing issue overall, either the stamper not pressing down properly or releasing properly, not forming that groove as it should be. So it's an issue that really you can't do anything about. You can try and return the record, get another copy. Sometimes it may affect the entire batch, sometimes it doesn't. But I have found one of the most sort of extreme examples I've ever seen of this recently in a record I just picked up the other day, and that is the White Stripes Elephant, the 20th anniversary edition. So I just want to show you this today so that you can look out for it for yourself and know what to do if you do get one. Now I've actually also picked up a second copy, which interestingly doesn't seem to have the same issue. So I just want to bring it up on the camera, talk about the issue, and then I want you to let me know what you've done about this, or if it's something that you see regularly, down in the comments below. Let's get straight into it. So I was pretty excited to get a vinyl copy of this album, and it's a pretty special one from an analog perspective because the actual recording of this album was done at a studio in London called Toe Rag Studios, which is an all analog recording studio, tons and tons of vintage gear in there, lots of character to be had from all that kit. And actually it proudly states on the sleeve of this album that no computers were used during the writing, recording, mixing or mastering of this record. It's also on coloured vinyl for whatever it's worth. Some of you will go for that kind of thing. Some of you will not. I totally get that. But, overall, it's just pretty disappointing for that whole kind of all analog aesthetic and experience that they've really gone to town on from the original recording of the album in 2002, released in 2003, and then, to actually reissue the album, cut from the original master tapes as well, and then have it spoiled by imperfections on the record surface. It just spoils the entire thing. But now let's take it over to the turntable and I'll show you as best as I can on the camera just how bad all these little imperfections on the surface are, so that you can look out for that yourself when you're buying new records. So I used my LED turntable light to highlight the problem. I couldn't get it to come out on my regular camera. I just couldn't get close enough with the kind of lens that I've got. So I had to switch over to my phone. And you'll see here, as the light goes over, you'll see it kind of glisten as it goes over those imperfections on the record surface. And trust me, they are very audible. This is side A and the first track on the album. And most of the bubbles or the little kind of glitches on the surface, they're all mostly at the beginning of the record. So it's pretty bad to start an album with that many imperfections on the record surface, although there were other ones throughout side A. Side A was definitely the worst, but I also managed to find quite a few of them on side B as well. Now, I've had records with this issue before, and usually it's just one or two little bubbles on the record surface. I've never seen quite so many little micro bubbles like this. I've never really seen one this bad. This is now the same issue as you will see on side B. As you can imagine, I was pretty peeved, but I did decide to buy another copy of the album to see if the problem persisted. Usually, unfortunately, I find if this problem materialises with a particular pressing, it usually affects the entire batch, and you'll find that you'll get the same issue just in different spots on the record surface. But in this case, I got really lucky. I bought a second copy, as you'll see here on the screen now, and there are absolutely none of those glitches on the surface, and it sounds really nice and clean, and it's a really nice copy of this record. So in this case, it seems to be a bit of a luck of the draw situation. Some of them have turned out okay, other ones are particularly bad. In any case, I will definitely be sending that first copy back for a refund, and if you see this problem yourself, I recommend you vote with your feet and you do the same. So that concludes today's video. Thank you ever so much for watching, but now it's over to you. I want to hear about your experience of this issue down in the comments section as always. Is it something that's getting better? Is it something that's getting worse? Is it something that happens to you a lot, or have you hardly ever seen this problem at all? I'd love to hear your experience as always. And of course, if you are new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. Would love to see you in that next video, but until then, keep spinning.